Hey guys, Super Nerd Miles here, and it is time for more Pokemon Ruby. Now, Ziggy has an item here, and if my commentary sounds at all clumsy, this is because I'm going to get to post-commentate this video. Yay! So yeah, I lost the video file. This was supposed to be another episode of that Hector was guest commentating, but I actually lost the video file, and Hector is, in his own words, Pokemon'd out after the amount that we recorded together and also the amount of time he spent grinding, so I suppose we're going to spend some time on Route 103. God, my fishing line's all snarled up. I'm getting frustrated at me. That's it! Battle me! So I guess this guy's a ornery brute. Fisherman Andrew. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm sorry if my commentary sounds any worse quality than normal. Just realized that I have my microphone in the wrong place where it sounds wrong. I'll fix that. But yeah, I don't like post commentary. I do it as little as possible, but I've got to now because for whatever reason my Skype recorder didn't actually record it, which is very annoying to say the least. But yes, because of that, I might do a little bit of just off-topic stuff or whatever, more than usual, just because this is post-commentary, and I'm not concentrating on the game now, I'm concentrating on commentating. So I guess I could start off during this battle against this tentacle that I'm about to one-shot, I'm not, by just going ahead and giving my thoughts on post-commentary in general. Like, really, the reason that I don't like it, and that a lot of people don't like it, is it's not as genuine. Like, it's not as genuine if it's not blind, but it's even less genuine if you have already played something and already know what's going on. Oh, by the way, teleport there. Going to go ahead and interrupt myself real quick to talk about teleport that we just learned. Essentially, it lets you teleport back to the last Pokemon Center you visited, which will make it useful for, like, escaping dungeons or whatever, but I don't honestly use it very often. However, back to what I was saying, it's like, it's very distracting to, or well, not distracting, but it's just not, it's just not nearly as genuine to be talking about something that you did a few days ago. Like, this was, when was this recorded? This was recorded 5 days ago. And I just now got around to editing this particular video. This was the last video of the day. After this, I moved on to a different day, and thankfully I've still got the commentary for that. But as it is, I've still got to worry about commentating a video that I already recorded, which is just not fun. Like, really, the reason that I do this, the reason that I... Oh, by the way, there's this house here that we're looking at that I'm thinking about going into. But, like, the reason that I'm post-commentating this is because, well, there are two. First of all, because it would look really crappy, just no commentary, since I'm a channel made for commentary. But this house, 3 steps right and 2 steps up to reach the wondrous trick house. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2. Okay, story time that's actually on topic. You're being watched, and there's like a little twinkle, and I never actually knew to check that, which, of course, there's actually someone hiding there. When I was a little kid, like, this was my first playthrough, yada yada yada, that scared the crap out of me, and I left and never came back. But, then I'm all over the place today. Back to the oh, by the way, this guy's got the same sprite as to Epic Nose. But, this guy's the Trick Master, and I love his sprite, or not his sprite, but his drawing in Pokemon Adventures. It looks awesome. But, back to my off-topic is, actually, no, I'll explain this Trick House first. He's got 8 different mazes. He'll give you a new one after each badge you get, with the exception of the second badge. You get 1 after the first badge, 2 after the third badge, 3 after the fourth badge, so on and so forth, up to 7 after the 8th badge, and the 8th and final maze after you beat the Elite Four. This one, the first one, is just a cut maze, really. But yeah, the thing about going back to post-commentary, the post-commentary stuff I was talking about is, like, it would sound, because I commentate like all of my videos, it would be really disjointed for me to not commentate this one. But it would be, it would also be, like, I'm also doing it not just to make it look better, but because I actually do like you guys and I like recording and stuff, and I've got to make up for something that I lost, really. You know, the real fun part is going to be editing, listening to the commentary I just did while I think about anything I need to add, like annotations, yada yada yada. I'm actually going to be watching this video more than usual. In other words, if you're recording commentary, try not to lose it, really. But, back to kind of talking about the Trick Master, like, he's really eccentric, I'd say. Like, he's got, like I said, he's got 8 mazes, and each of them, usually they're somewhat based on the, either the gym that you have to beat to get there, or the HM that you get from it. For example, you get this one after beating the first gym, and it is a cut maze, because you, the first badge gives you the ability to do HM01. I'm not going to spoil any of the others, but most of them are, there's some Pokemon with pretty good levels for the place that you're at, but although that really only applies if you go back immediately after each gym. Otherwise, they could be pretty underleveled. Which is why in the future I plan on going back either as soon as I remember or right after the badge. Essentially, like, I get a new badge and a new maze, I'll go back immediately to check it out. Or if I don't go back immediately, which I know because I've already recorded a good bit ahead, that I need to go back for my for the second maze, where I am at my recording, but I've forgotten for a while. Now that I know, if and when I do any more recording, I'll be able to go ahead and do said, I'll be able to go ahead and do said Trick Master house maze thing, because now I've remembered and stuff. But, as a general rule, the levels aren't bad, and the items are almost, any items that you find in the maze are almost guaranteed not worth it. Like, usually, remember how I said don't buy mail except for that one harbor mail? Well, in this case, practically all the items you'll find here are mail, meaning that they're essentially just taking up a space in your inventory, and they don't sell for crap either. Now, I actually took a bit of a wrong turn here. I'm used to, like, I was just going through to cut down everything, and that is actually the door to the exit here. I believe I actually do go back, yeah, I'll go back and show you guys real quick what it's like. See, there's this little scroll down there that just went off screen, and it contains a secret code that you've got to write on the door. Nintendo logic. You write something on a door and it opens. But you essentially have to find the scroll in each maze, and then go and then you'll auto-memorize whatever's on it and write it down on the door. More Nintendo logic, they just memorize it for you instead of making you actually memorize it and, like, write it down using Easy Chat or something like that. Yes, this guy's a required battle. You've got to battle this guy who wandered into this weird house by accident to get to the scroll. And to that I say BS. Like, seriously? He wandered into this weird house by accident, wandered through a scroll/door in the back of the house, cut down several trees, and was there long enough for them to regrow. Although even more Nintendo logic, they regrow, those trees regrow ultra quickly. Yada 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 BS. Unless he just, I suppose you could say that he just wandered in by accident and found the Trick Master, and the Trick Master hired him, or whatever. Because you gotta wonder, what are all, like, I suppose I'll just go off on a tangent here because it's fun. What are all these trainers doing here? Like, you would assume that they're on their own Pokemon journeys of some sort So why do you never see them like moving? Like there are a few that'll just pace back and forth, but as a whole, 90% of the trainers you'll find are just sitting in one spot until you challenge them. And then they'll just sit in one spot forevermore. You never even really see them go to the Pokemon Center to heal their Pokemon or anything like that. It never really made sense to me. Like, I think I wrote like a fanfic somewhere. No, I don't think it ever got posted, but I kind of wrote a bit of a fanfic like years ago about like these quote-unquote wandering trainers. I said that they were essentially not privileged. I essentially wrote a story about them not being privileged enough to actually get a first Pokemon from one of the Pokemon professors. They essentially don't have a lot of privileges that the player does. Although it's not really that. I have a habit of like I'll write stories if I get a topic, but I rarely actually follow through with it. It's just not something that I can keep going for that long, honestly. I've written a few fanfics, a couple of them that are on PokeFarm. No, actually, I don't think that I ever did a fanfic on PokeFarm. Although I did go for a couple of role plays. Although the owner of both of said role plays quit, which is kind of annoying. And now I'm getting to talking about PokeFarm, although I suppose it's kind of appropriate for a Pokemon game. For those of you who don't know, who haven't heard me rambling on about PokeFarm before, PokeFarm is essentially a, we memorized this stuff on the scroll, by the way, but, PokeFarm is essentially a Pokemon-based forum that also has a bit of a game on it. Like, you can essentially just raise your Pokemon's levels and stuff. And I ended up losing my train of thought, phooey. There's really no reason for me to show that, so, now I've just got the chore of figuring out. Oh, right, I was talking about PokeFarm. Essentially, you can, like, it's kind of like an MMO, although it's more forum style than actual game style. But, you can essentially hatch eggs and raise Pokemon, and essentially the main way of raising Pokemon or hatching these eggs is for other people to come and hold your eggs or feed your Pokemon. And that's actually, like, a couple videos ago, I believe, we went through a moment that I was asking Hector about sour berries, I believe. So the way that he found out a common sour berry was to go to PokeFarm, try to feed a Pokemon, and then look at the berry choices. Which, heck, I can do that right now just to show you, because it's essentially a group of very common, very common berries. Like the most common berries you can find. I think they're like berries 1 through 5. The Aspir berry for a basic sour berry, Cherry berry for a basic spicy berry, Chester berry for a basic dry berry, Pekka berry for a basic sweet berry, and Ross berry for a bitter berry. So that's just an easy way to figure it out for me. But now this path over here you don't actually have to take. It's only got a single trainer and also a Pokeball up there that contains mail. I ended up actually searching this room just to see if there's a hidden item in there. There's not. I don't think there are actually any hidden items anywhere. But either way, PokeFarm is a lot of fun. I would definitely recommend you guys check it out if you like Pokemon. If you want to go ahead and by the way, that is an orange mail, like I said. If you want to go ahead and give me some credit for bringing you there, when you join, let's see, I believe you can get a link to my PokeFarm account from my page. The username is BigGray96, BIGGRAY96. If you list me as as having referred you there, I get a small bonus. So troll face. I don't even know. PokeFarm actually isn't going to be open for very much longer because they're working on a sequel version. So if you want to have, like, called PokeFarm Q, and at the time that they release that, they'll stop allowing applications for, or well, not applications, but they'll stop allowing people to join Poker Farm. So I suppose if you want to be on the last 5-ish month, or really it's going to be closer to 4 months on this, well, that's your choice. But yes, we wrote down the secret code on the door. Trick Master's fabulous. And all of a sudden, the scroll just, like, opens up somehow. And now we're in this guy's attic. Ack, you've made it to me? And I believe that at this point I was really talking about him having the epic nose. You're sharp. I believe one of the trainers down there did say just who is the Trick Master. So, oh, by the way, he says we're his equal in greatness by 6 places. Obviously, he'll step it up to the 7th maze. You'll be his equal in greatness, and after finishing the 8th maze, you'll have surpassed him. But yeah, Hector was freaking out about this guy being like Schnazuer, like Doc from the Slateport, or from the Stearns shipyard. But like a guy downstairs says, one of the trainers downstairs says like, who is the Trick Master? So at this point, I believe this guy was only the 2nd guy with the epic nose, or the epic nose, I suppose you could say. But it's a scroll. It's just a scroll. As you can see, there is no 2nd maze after the 2nd gym. If there's no maze available, he'll just be standing in front of the scroll and he'll just talk to you, or well, talk about, hey, get out because I'm designing the next maze. Apparently, he designs it on that scroll. But if there is a maze available, he'll be watching you from somewhere random. It's kind of hard to find him occasionally. But, let's see. This Route 103, there are actually a lot of... or, not Route 103, Route 110. There are a lot of Pokemon. We already caught a couple. Here's another one here, Minun. I already covered it in the last part, being like the poster child for double battles, it and Plusle. So, but yeah, it's not quite as good as Pikachu, but if you want to electric Pokemon on your team just to use for the few double battles you find, go right ahead, although I wouldn't recommend it. Not going to stop you, but I'm also not going to recommend it. But we caught it, no problems, and like I said, Route 110's got a lot of Pokemon that I believe at this point we've caught all but like 1 or 2 of them. And there's also a trainer over there. There are also several hidden items on this route because of, well, something that we'll actually be getting into in the next part, although I'm not ending this off right here. I'm just saying that for a reason that we'll get into next part, there are a lot of hidden items on this route. Now, I started to name it, like, Negativity, but then I realized a better name for it, and Hector started giving the lesson, the middle school science lesson of atoms having 3 charges: protons, the positive charge, neutrons, the neutral charge, and then electrons, the negative charge. And Minun is kind of the negative charge of Plusle is the positive charge, and Minun is the negative charge. So I named it Electron. So Hector was explaining that while I went to the Pokemon Center and stuff. Luckily, since this is post-commentary, I can A, cut things out just by shutting up, and B, I'm also able to hear the music while we're playing, which, granted, this isn't the best place to be listening to the music. There are some places up ahead that I like a lot more. Oh, another Pokemon we need to catch here is Gulpin, by the way. It's a poison Pokemon. It's, think miniature Java. Because it's essentially critical hit. I'd almost forgotten about that. Not quite, though. But yes, we actually ended up inflating time by searching for another one later. But essentially, it's a poison type. It's known for swallowing things. Its evolved form is called Swalot. So it's gulpin' and then swallot. But yeah, something that I've been meaning to say ever since I've been listening to it and editing, Slateport City, when I first played the game, I didn't actually like Slateport's music, but I've gotten a new respect for it after listening to it in the past several parts of editing, because it's just like, it's got like a bass line that I really like. It's like da 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 da. I'm not even going to. I shouldn't be humming it over the current music, but seriously, I've gained new respect for Slateport's music. We haven't reached some of my favorite tracks in the. Well, actually, we've reached one of my favorite tracks in the game, the awesome rival battle music, but other than that, I've got a few other favorite songs in the game. We won't reach one of them for several parts, and the other few for most of the rest of the game, really. And of course, Aaron is spamming Mud Slap, meaning that I can't hit him worth beans. Excuse me, yawn. Let's see, did I switch out? Yeah, switching out here was, in all honesty, switching out there would be a good idea. Especially since, oh, it used Harden. I would have expected it to use Mud Slap just to finish me off in style, but that wouldn't have worked on Gulliver because it's a ground type and it has Keen Eye to prevent accuracy loss. But Harden didn't work either because I've got a super effective move on it that doesn't do, that is a special attack. Now here, Blade is learning Pursuit here at level 16. Pursuit has the same power as Quick Attack and Pound, but it also does double damage if the target you use it on tries to switch out, which is not very common in single player. You rarely ever see a person switch out their Pokemon. You'll occasionally see it like in the Elite Four or whatever, but really it's not common at all. So I would learn it just to have. I learned it. I overwrote Pound just to have a normal type move, but or just to have another different type of move to attack with. But otherwise, I would give it a pass for a better Dark type move, like or a different move, maybe like Feint Attack, never misses, 60 power. Bite can make you flinch, also 60 power. But Blade, of course, is holding the Everstone. I finally looked it up at some point during my recordings, and Blade is going to have that for, well, 10 levels. A little less because I took it off to show canceling evolution, but Blade learns Mega Drain at level 26, meaning that I'll be taking the Everstone off at level 24 to cancel the evolution at 25 and then let it evolve at level 26 after letting it learn Mega Drain. Because Absorb, it's a good move. I like the HP draining moves, but Absorb only has 20 base power, meaning that it's kinda sucky. Mega Drain has 40 power, and Giga Drain, if you had the patience to wait for it, has 60 power, but Giga Drain didn't really become worth it in my opinion until I believe it was Gen 4, although it might have been all the way to Gen 5 when they doubled the PP for most of the absorbing moves. There's another Oddish there. I still love calling it Ponzer. It's like I don't remember what my friend was saying exactly about it, but the name stuck. And I'm not going to refer to him by name because we're still trying to figure out a good pseudonym for him if he is to record with me at all, which I hope so. Like, as you guys could probably tell, I enjoyed and will still be enjoying recording with Hector, and I also find it fun to. I find recording fun. I find it even more fun to record with friends. Like I was saying, I find it even more fun to record with friends, and I'll probably have different people guest commentating from time to time. Hector will probably be a common guest because A, he's accessible, and B, he's into Pokemon a good bit just like me. Difference is, I didn't get tired of Pokemon for a little while just because I recorded like a dozen parts with him over the course of a couple days. I stayed like editing them. I recorded a few more with solo commentary, probably record a few more and then go back to having Hector for guest commentary. He'll be a common guest, but the person that I was talking about that inspired the name Ponzer may actually appear in later videos. Because he's the one person, actually he inspired both Ponzer and Schmish, but we caught Gulpin while I was chatting, by the way, but the person that inspired the names Ponzer and Schmish he's essentially one of the few people who I would admit to knowing more about Pokemon than me. Most people, I'm a super nerd. I know so many things about Pokemon, like including a lot of random trivia crap, yada yada yada. He's the guy that beat a lot of it into my head, though. So he's one of the few people that I will freely admit without getting a sour taste in my mouth that he knows more about Pokemon than me. But yeah, at Hector's insistence, I named Gulpin Jabba Hutt. I couldn't fit Jabba the Hutt in. He actually looked it up, I think, just to verify that it was Jabba the Hutt. But by the way, I believe we're coming up on the end of the video here, so in the next episode we'll be continuing up Route 110 and seeing what else is there. So I guess I will see you guys later. Miles out. And sorry for the post commentary, by the way.